Howdy y'all, Spill here again for our final installment on Lake Ray Roberts. Today we're hiking the Jordan Unit here on the east side of the lake, just west of the town of Pilot Point. Not a whole lot to the trail system for Jordan Unit, only two. Redbud Lane runs from where I disembarked from down all the way to Isle du Bois. It's about 4.5 miles. It'd be a fun walk, but not doing that one. Today we are taking Rocky Spur, which goes north off of 1192. Both of these are equestrian use and hiking and mountain biking also. But in fact, as I pulled in, there was two gentlemen trailering up a couple of horses, just been on the trails. So pretty cool. This just follows the coast of the lake up on the property. To my right and the east is the private property, and I can see some deer up in the trees. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous morning. No dog today. Rode the motorcycle. Too pretty morning not to. And yeah, excited. All the way, Rocky Spur is a 3-mile trail. Has a small loop at the end, so down there and back probably a little less than 6 altogether. So not a bad hike. Not a bad hike. There's a road runner on the trail up ahead of me. I'll try to get close enough to video him a little bit. If my dad were here, he'd make a joke about watch out for a coyote. Classic dad joke. That was a little exciting. This runs right past the Lone Star Lodge and Marina, big venue, room rentals and such. They're doing a lot of work there, so the trail portion kind of turned into a construction area. No signs or anything, so I had to kind of detour around it a little bit. But we're on the right track now. We're okay. We're okay. It'll be okay. I do believe this is the first time I've ever been through Jordan Unit. All the other 3 sections of this state park I've used some form of fashion. Lake access or camping or whatever, Isle du Bois and Johnson Branch both. Even the Greenbelt. Years ago, my sister and I did a little mini triathlon through there, so. Yeah, first time at Jordan, which makes a little sense. It's pretty simple. Revolves mostly around the Lone Star Marina up there, Lone Star Lodge. Yeah, not many trails, but so far this is a nice one. I like it. I'm always scared of running off without something, leaving something behind. And sure enough, today I did. I forgot my hat. So I'm stuck wearing my helmet rag. almost all the trails I've been on, the other 3 parked units, been relatively flat. A little undulation, but for the most part, they've been pretty dang flat. This one is proving to be the exception. There's a little bit of up and down to it, which is nice. Different muscle groups, different muscle groups. I like it. Motorcycles? Hell yeah, let's talk about motorcycles. Probably the greatest side benefit to getting out on these hiking trips. Gives me an excuse to take the bike out a little more often also. Or rather take the bike out at all, because I don't. Except when I'm going on a trip like this. First bike was a 2000, I think it was a 2000 or 2001 Harley Road King, which is admittedly a big bike for your first one. But I love that thing. I rode the hell out of it for a year, and then I sold it. And I got a Honda sport bike. That was a 2001 CBR 600 F4i, which actually I still have. I mean, technically I have it. I have the title and the paperwork, but it's occupying a big chunk of space in my nephew's garage. Sorry, Jordan. I tore up the transmission on it and was gonna fix it myself. Decided that was probably a stupid idea. It was a stupid idea. Didn't want to sell it. Asked my nephew if he wanted it, wanted to work on it, whatever, and he foolishly said yes. So there it's been. Currently, I've got an 06 Honda VTX 1800. Big son of a gun. Beautiful bike. Dream to ride. Just smooth as can be. It was my father-in-law's. He had it for years. But it was hard for him to ride it. It sat and sat and sat. Almost a decade it sat. He finally decided he had to do something with it. Didn't want to pay to get it cleaned up and running and deal with selling it, so he just gave it to me to sell. So I took it, did some work on it, cleaned up the fuel system because it was pretty nasty. Took care of all the fluids and new tires, and it is technically for sale, but I'm in no rush to sell it. It's too much fun to ride. Sport bike was my daily driver for years. I rode it all the time, often as I could, unless it was raining or just freezing cold. I was probably on that bike. And I got married, had kids, and suddenly the added risk to being on a bike all the time was just not worth it. Not when I had 2 little babies at home and a wife that worried about me. Mind you, I ride safe. At least that time I was riding safe on the sport bike. Maybe not so much before I got married and didn't have anyone to crow at me about it, but always ride with a helmet. I wear gear as often as I can. Today was cool enough to warrant a leather jacket, which actually says Harley Davidson on it, which felt weird riding it with while I was on a Honda, but whatever. Backpack covers it all, the name up, so. All right, I'm at the back of the trail on Rocky Spur. This takes a little loop, I think about a half-mile loop. And then I'll turn around and head back the other way. So as an additional PSA, please, please, please be mindful of motorcycle riders. I trust myself on the roads. I'm a safe driver, cautious, try to always be aware of my surroundings. But I know a lot of other car drivers are not such, especially when it comes to motorcycles. So please, be aware of your two-wheeled friends out there. It might just be me, and I don't want you to run my ass over. That is a good thing about the big 1800. It is a big bike. It's a little harder to miss than that little crotch rocket I used to have. But it's also silver, so it kind of blends in with the road color, which is beautiful. Beautiful bike. A few other bikers out there, please wear a helmet. Please wear safety gear. Don't be stupid. When I sold my Harley, I sold it to a gentleman not too far from here. Finalized a deal with him, and I have a DOT rated helmet, just a half helmet. Not a skull cap, but a half helmet. Getting rid of that bike, I didn't really need it. I wish I kept it now, but I didn't need it. And I offered to him, so you want to take the helmet with the bike? No, I don't wear helmets. Okay. I don't wear helmets, he said. He knew of somebody with that type of helmet who had laid down a bike on a curve, slid into a guardrail, and the helmet caught on the guardrail post, and that's what killed the driver. That's like people who don't wear seatbelts because they're scared of the seatbelt trapping them underwater. What is the likelihood you're going to get trapped underwater? And don't give me that, well, it's legal to ride without a helmet BS either. So what? You've only got one brain. Take care of it. Only takes one good knock. Of course, I'm going on this diatribe, and my helmet's 15 years old and probably doesn't provide all that much protection anymore. It feels good to wear it. I feel safer with it, but I do need a new one if I'm going to ride. I had another jacket, ballistic jacket, vented, cool, comfortable, great for protection, had a liner in it. I tried to wear it last time when I went to Isle du Bois. The armor in the shoulders was crumbling because it's so old. It's been sitting in the closet for 10 years, close to 10 years. Jeez. By the way, my helmet cap here makes for a terrible sweat rag. Sleeve off an old t-shirt I threw away. Polyester. It's not leaking, it's hot, it's uncomfortable. It's not good for this, I can tell you that much. That'll do. Look, sometimes to adapt to your situation, you might end up looking silly. Just deal with it. Little buzzard just flew up out of the tree right above me. He scared me half to death. do miss having the dogs out here though. At least a dog, not more than one dog. I tried that on the Knob Hills trails. Wasn't terrible. I took Koa and Hank out. They did okay. Just okay. Not great. Okay. I'll try it more. The dogs are probably going crazy at home, realizing I'm not there. I snuck out while they were all outside. So, sorry. All I have to do is look like I'm thinking about putting my shoes on. And I have a pack of 3 wild dogs scrambling around me, knocking me over, trying to get out the door before me. It is nice to be loved. I can't emphasize how much of a perfect day it is for a hike. It's perfect. I want to say it's very inconsiderate of all these people to be running construction equipment while I'm out here trying to walk at peace and quiet on a weekday morning. It's like they don't even know who I am. I'm being facetious, of course. But after 20 years in construction, I can tell you that that person does exist. And yes, they're truly awful. 6.75 miles. Yeah, I thought it was only gonna be right around 6, but closer to 7. No problem. The loop not closing up probably had a lot to do with that. Almost doubled up the loop rather than actually closing out the loop. But that's cool. Doesn't bother me a bit. Catch my breath, get geared back up, and take the bike home. It's been a good day. Y'all get out and take a hike.